incredible sports weekend this past weekend. Lots to talk about. Something that is definitely going to be a topic of conversation going forward into the week is Grayson Allen, who injured Alex Caruso during by committing a hard foul on him during the Bucks-Bulls game. It was, in my opinion, an egregious, malicious move that resulted in Caruso missing what seems to be, at this point, 4 to 6 weeks. He's going to undergo surgery on his wrist. Renee, as a person who has played professional basketball on a professional basketball court, how did you view this play? And did you feel like the one-game suspension, which the NBA now has come down on Grayson Allen with, is it enough?
Not enough. I think this is ridiculous. For me, I'm all about playing hard. I'm all about that try hard, because nowadays sometimes it's like not cool to try hard. Right. I'm all about the trying hard. And if you look dumb trying hard, so be it. Like, that's just me. I don't care if I look dumb. I'm just going to try my best. So I'm all for that group. What Grayson Allen is doing, I'm just not with it. The intentionality behind his movements and the intentionality behind how he plays and how he fouls. Look, I remember watching, or I might have even been calling it, I don't know, but it was a Hawks game. And I bet every team around the league could have the same story, because a lot of times I keep on hearing, he has a pass from Duke. And I'm like, what do you mean a pass from Duke? He has a pass from the NBA last year.
Devil's advocate, Bucks fans are all in my mentions right now defending Grayson Allen. And they would tell you, hey, he's only got one previous flagrant in the NBA. He's had a clean NBA record. That's what they will say.
I mean, I know about, you're only guilty if they catch you. So I get that mindset. But I've also been a player that's been on the court where I know that I've fouled and they haven't called it. So it's not that just because it hasn't been called doesn't mean it's happened. I've been on the court and I've accidentally fouled somebody. The ref missed it. Well, then I guess I didn't foul him. That's the same theory and thought process is being used for Grayson Allen. But the stuff against Trae Young wasn't called a flagrant. But then when we watched it back, it's clearly intentional in how he was trying to use his feet to trip up Trae, and you can see it. So it didn't get called. So to that, to the devil's advocate, just because it's not getting called doesn't mean the behavior isn't still sustaining and living here. And I've watched it live, and then to watch it again, to your point about the one-game suspension, no, sir. The fact that we watched it and we know that, Caruso ended up getting up and we thought it was going to be okay in the moment. But I have a real problem with that. You did a flagrant 2, which shows that there was intentionality behind it. And then you got one game after injuring a dude, and you said 4 to 6, but I heard it could even take 6 to 8. Either way, a minimum of 4 weeks. And then Caruso just got back. So I know that doesn't matter in the Grayson Allen idea of things, but it's just a crushing blow for an athlete. Grayson Allen's an athlete, so he should know. It's crushing that you finally get through all of your rehab, which is a nightmare. It's no fun. It's terrible. You get back on the court. You're so excited to be there. Look at what happened with Klay Thompson to get back on the court. He took 2 years, but it's such a triumphant moment to then get fouled flagrant 2 and be out again. No.
I will say this. So a lot of Bucks fans, and I get it. Listen, if I was a Bucks fan, I'd be defending my player too. But I think, as a fan of the team, of the player that you are defending, maybe step back and realize all these unattached people without any dog in this fight are that was malicious. I've had lots of Bucks fans send me various other flagrant fouls that have happened over the course of the week. A Kelly Oubre one, another a Taylor Norton Tucker one. Here's the difference to me. One, those other flagrants, those happened in a crowd. There were other players around. It wasn't just a one-on-one. With this foul, it was just Grayson and Caruso. And it's the second move to me that is the move. He already had Caruso's arm locked up. That layup was not going up, right? And then Caruso starts to fall, and then he comes in with the second arm. It's that second swing to me, which is unnecessary. Again, the layup is not going in. The ball's not going up. There's not going to be an and one. He's not getting the shot up. It's over at that point. But when you come in with the second arm, that's when it gets reckless to me. Now, as I mentioned, Bucks fans are also saying, well, he's a clean record since he's been in the NBA. People are taking his reputation into account, but that was in college. It's different. I get it. I get what you're saying. We all want to live life feeling like the mistakes we make in college are just
right.
Youthful,
but you
and
have to stop making them.
I understand that, but I'll just say this: like, one, this is not a court of law where you're like, oh, that happened in a different jurisdiction. People are making the connection that Grayson Allen, while playing organized basketball, was a reckless player who often fouled people and occasionally looked like he was doing it in a malicious way. And Grayson Allen doing this play, which seems to fall right in line with all the stuff he did, yes, in a different league, but still playing organized basketball. Basketball's basketball. We saw it. We watched it on TV. It was like, it was during during tournaments. Happened in front of audiences. It happened. One game is I gotta admit, I am shocked. I'm shocked at this because I just don't know how they're coming up with this anymore. Now, people might say, okay, Jokic only got a game and Markieff Morris hasn't played again.
Yeah, that's
since
bad too.
He ran into his back. That's bad too. I would add that from my perspective, there were extenuating circumstances. I think Markieff instigated that a little bit, and we didn't know that Markieff was as hurt as he appears to be hurt, right? The injury news came right out. Like, it was clear before the NBA came with the 1-game suspension that Caruso needs surgery. You sent him to the surgery room, the operating room. It's got to be more than 1 game. It's wild to me. And here's the thing that I don't think I've ever seen before. The Bucks released a statement saying, we disagree with the suspension. We support Grayson and look forward to him rejoining our team for Friday's game versus New York. I've seen where coaches say, hey, I know my player. He's not a bad guy. This is just something that happened. Or players say something similar. I don't think I've ever seen a team release a statement after their player injured another player. Like, I've never seen this.
I mean, kudos to Grayson, because clearly his team loves him and his team backs him. And to the Bucks fans that are supporting him, at minimum you have to understand that this is a relapse. If you're saying, yeah, he's rehabilitated, he did that in college, don't bring that to the pros, then under that same thought process, this is a relapse, because no matter if you agree or not, the refs called a flagrant 2, which means a player has made both an unnecessary and excessive foul, and that's the problem here. So it's like, yeah, I didn't go into the game for the Bucks fans. I didn't go into the game worried and thinking about Grayson being a flagrant 2 fouler or being a Duke hacker. It only came back to everyone's mental when these situations happen. So it's not like everyone's following Grayson Allen around and like, there's that guy that fouls hard from Duke. I don't even recognize, I don't even pay Grayson Allen any mind unless he's scoring, shooting, passing, any other reason than any other basketball player. The reason that we're talking about it now is because Grayson Allen had a relapse. If they're saying that he's better and that he doesn't do that anymore, that was just Duke. This is just a relapse then, and then hopefully we don't see it anymore this season, because I would love nothing better than to never see Grayson Allen have another flagrant 2 in his whole career, one that's called or one that's not called, because again, the Trae Young one was just called a regular foul. And so I it's nothing against Grayson Allen. It's almost like everybody's
that's the other thing.
We don't care about Grayson Allen.
Sign up, play today, place your bets. Underdog Fantasy is the best and easiest way to play fantasy sports. With their slick mobile app and user-friendly website, you can win up to 20 times your money in one night. Pick over-under on your favorite players' stats to win big money. Sign up now with the code Takeline, and you'll double your first deposit up to $100 in free bonus cash when you make your deposit of $10 or more. Deposit $100, get another $100 free.
It's That's not about him.
Bucks fans, a lot of Bucks fans, and I get it again because this is how sports works, but a lot of Bucks fans are like, as if people are saying that Grayson Allen, sports commentators, or as if they're saying he's a bad guy, he's a bad person, he kicks puppies on the way to work.
Grayson Allen.
No one's saying that. This was a reckless play. Let me zoom out for a bit, because one thing that struck me in the Adam Silver post-bubble era is that this NBA really doesn't want to suspend anybody, at all. LeBron James, some recent suspensions include LeBron James when he elbowed Isaiah Stewart. He got 1 game for that. I think, I think there's a world where that's not like the distant past where you could imagine LeBron getting 2 to 3 for that. Isaiah Stewart then like multiple times tried to charge LeBron James like over the course of many minutes in various incidents that went from the court to behind the court to the hallway. And that was 2 games, which again, I think that was pretty wild. There was only 2 games. Of course, Jokic got 1 game for running into Markieff Morris's back. In the words of Markieff Morris, 300-pound sloppy fat boy. Those are his words, not mine. Wow. Do you think that what is behind this? And do you think the NBA is just, why do they seemingly not want to really suspend anybody more than a game or 2?
It's interesting because in the same breath, all I read about on the tweets and different things like that is that the NBA is so soft now, right, and that the NBA is made for the offensive player. And you know what? All of that probably could be true. In the same breath, to your point, I'm curious, are they reading the same tweets we are and trying to have a tougher aspect? I don't know. And look, I'm all for it. And I know back in the day in the 90s, those guys would literally punch each other in the face. I actually know that. But I still think that there's something different than you're looking a guy in the face and you want to start an altercation than if somebody jumps in the air and they're helpless and then you commit a bad foul. Did they do that back in the day? Yes, they did. And if they hurt somebody and fractured somebody's wrist, I would have a problem with it then too. I've been on courts, where people thought because I played organized basketball for different institutions that if I went to play a pickup game at the Y or a street ball game, people just assumed I'm soft because of where I played before. Oh, yeah, you're organizational basketball. And they would foul me hard and they would do different things. I don't really care about that. I don't care if people foul me hard. I just care if people are playing dirty and the intentionality behind it. So it's we can be competitive and we can get after it. And you know what? I've caught a bow. I've knocked my tooth back. I've busted my lip. I've caught a bow. That happens. But to me, it's just always about intentionality. I don't think anybody I've played with has intentionally tried to hurt me. Even when they've elbowed me and just playing wild and physical and I might have caught a bow, I don't think that in their mind they were like, yeah, I'm going to pull you out of the air. I'm going to do something that could actually get me out for 4 to 6 weeks. If they have, okay, I didn't feel it, but that's just my problem. It's we're all athletes, so at least even try to catch somebody as they fall. That's help each other. I've seen hard fouls where a guy holds them all the way to the ground and make sure that they fall hard, but make sure that they don't make the and one as well. There's a way to do both.
That's the norm. If you ask me, having watched lots of basketball over the course of my life, the norm, especially in the last 10, 12 years, is someone gets taken out of there. Usually the defender makes some kind of show to either catch them or put their arms out to break their fall or to say, hey, whoa, I didn't, basketball's a bang bang sport. You're doing everything in a fraction of a second. But usually you see that contriteness of, oh, I didn't mean to do that, Right. With this, the bang is the first arm locking up Caruso's arm. The second part of it that takes it over the top is he just swings in that other arm for no real reason. Again, the play's over. Play's dead. Ball's not going up. Why swing that other arm? That, to me, is where it gets really, really, really dangerous. And, no effort to try and break his fall. Not at all. He just walked away and was kind of I hate to say this because this is the stuff that makes Grayson Allen look bad. Where people are I fucking hate Grayson Allen. But my man was giggling a little bit. He was smirking about it.
It looked like he was not, at the bare minimum,
he
it
was
didn't
not
look like
concerned.
I was just about to say, at the bare minimum, it didn't look like he was extremely concerned for a player sitting there. And like I said, I get it. I know it's sports, it's competitive, it's all this and that. But just to me, there's circumstances around that situation, like I've already explained, that to me it's just help them fall to the ground better. You can just tell when somebody doesn't want to make sure that somebody's getting hurt.
Yeah, that's the other, and I know in situations where when you fucked up, sometimes people react weirdly under stress. You try to play it off when really you're upset about it. I don't. I try not to factor that in. I just know that it was not a great look.
It wasn't a good look. It wasn't.
That's not a good look.